Alright, to begin with, we're taking the play. We have 3 lands. That's probably good enough. We don't really get to do anything on the first 2 turns, but being on the play is specifically so we don't have to care about that. Alright, 4th land that we could play now so that we can turn for Binding the Old Gods. That's an option. Opponent seems to be playing a blue-red deck with all the Storm Giants. I would assume that means they're not terribly likely to be doing anything super impactful before turn 4. I could go blank here, but I don't really think I'm supposed to. I'm probably supposed to go blank later, after they've done something. I don't know. Similarly, I kind of think I'm just supposed to play Binding of the Old Gods here on 4. If they're a Goldspan deck, there's not really a lot of opportunities to get use out of Goldspan later, or to get use out of Binding of the Old Gods later, because it's sorcery speed and that just isn't acceptable against Goldspan. Soul Shatter is probably going to fill that role already, so I should probably just play Binding while they are not capable of playing Unexpected Windfall, because playing Binding in the future is going to be even harder, and casting Go Blank here when they have 7 cards in hand I think gives them a little too much in the way of options for my taste. Oh, okay. Well, they're playing Prismari Command, which means they can Goldspan Dragon here. I tend not to think Prismari Command is worthwhile in Goldspan lists, just because ramping out Goldspan is nice, but if you don't have Goldspan, then the Prismari Command is pretty bad. Like, right now. Boop. We get to get a Woodland Chasm. Could go blank here, or I could just cast March of Wretched Sorrow to deal 4 damage to a token at the end of turn. Although I'll probably want to eventually Blood on the Snow. I think I'm probably just supposed to go blank here. And they get rid of some cards that don't matter. I suppose go blank is weaker if I'm not playing a deck that actually puts threats into play that the opponent needs to use removal spells on. Especially game 1. That's an interesting consideration. Howdy, Burp. I'm doing quite well. You know what helps with being sore? What's that? Because if the follow-up to that is alcohol, I have heard both sides of that before. And experienced perhaps both sides of it too. Hey, Sorin. Perfect. Unfortunately, I would like Sorin to have a land here so that I could Syncopate next turn if they try to Goldspan. But I suppose I have Blood on the Snow as a follow-up to Goldspan, so that's not the end of the world. Good guess, but no. Retrieving Socks. Okay. I do think we actually just uptick Sorin here. It's not in danger of dying to these Devil tokens. March of Wretched Sorrow is kind of a cute card to get back with Sorin, in that it pays for its own life. Alright, I'm going to go run and grab Socks. Failed to find Socks. Regrettable. 1 at face, 2 at Sorin. Interesting. Which means Scorching Dragonfire on the Sorin is the plan. I could March of Wretched Sorrow, the 1/1 that's going at face, but I'm probably going to wind up Blood on the Snowing anyway, so what's the point? We will try to grab Socks again after... Oh, it's just Galazeth? Okay. After the match is done. So I can look. Ooh. Good attempt, opponent. Probably should have done that pre-combat before deciding where to throw the attackers. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Okay, so Blood on the Snow clears out all the creatures. Sorin probably dies to Hall of the Storm Giants. Which means, I think... Oh, wait, no. Sorin dies to the Devil tokens. Okay, so we actually have to uptick Sorin and then let them kill Sorin with the Hall of the Storm Giants.
My ways are not for the weak.
Oh, that Go Blank's actually a little tempting. Oh, wait, no, I would die. On account of my face being dead. If I Blood on the Snow. Because I took 3 damage. That complicates things. Okay. How many snow sources do we have currently? 2. So we're never getting Sorin back. Really, we're never getting Sorin back with Blood on the Snow here regardless. I mostly just threw in the random Snowlands and the Blood on the Snow to see if getting back Shigeki was viable. But we shall see. I think I'm just going to leave it open. If they animate Hall here, I get to kill Hall with March of the Wretched Sorrow. Which I think is probably what I'm supposed to do in that spot. In fact, that's actually really what I want them to do. Because then I can clear out the board and they don't have the land threat in play. Moderately annoying if they kill Sorin, but I suppose... Oh, actually, no, that's much... No, well, I end up gaining 7 life, huh? So, it's not such a big deal if they go at my face. Oh, wait, no, this is way better for me, right? If they actually go all at face, because I gain the 7 life. So I take 6 down to 1, gain 7. Up to 8, then board wipe, then down tick Sorin. Well, or up tick Sorin, depending on where they go with the pings from the Devils. Their life is so awkward here with me having shown March of Wretched Sorrow plus a black card, because they know that I can cast March to kill the Hall. Okay, so 3, so I gotta exile 2 cards here, which probably is supposed to be the other March and the Go Blank. No, it's probably March and the Soul Shatter, and then I Go Blank away the rest of their hand. Oh, but I can't Go Blank this turn because I'm gonna Blood on the Snow. That's awkward. How do I do this? Okay, that's how I do it. Okay, so definitely March. And then probably Soul Shatter. No, probably Go Blank, unfortunately. Then we pay for the ward. Okay, so this did work. Glad to see that works the way I think it did. Skyturtle. Oh, okay. Okay. Destroy all creatures. Yeah, it is a little on brand to only realize nearly too late that card advantage would kill me, huh? Uptick Sorin, find a land, good enough for me. Don't think I need more green mana than this, 2's probably plenty. We actually can discard Skyturtle to bounce something if we desperately need to. Hey, Shadowfall Gaming, thanks for the follow. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Expressive Iteration, opponent drawing cards, makes me sad. Lear, okay, well, we can kill Lear. So that's not a problem. Uptick Sorin. Lands. Okay. Well, we're gonna kill Lear.
Dire times call for dire tactics.
I am probably just supposed to get back a Mind Rot here and force the opponent to be top decking. That feels like a good idea against a deck that's playing Lear. Alright. Should I be upticking Sorin for card advantage, or just getting a 2/3 to protect the Sorin from a top deck haste threat in this spot? I guess if my opponent's playing Igneous Inspiration, maybe there's merit to putting the Sorin up to 4. I'm probably supposed to uptick the Sorin in that spot, but I'm not totally convinced. Is Mind Rot better than Surprise Syncopate? When they had 2 cards in hand, I kind of suspect it was. Because, like, how many things did I Syncopate there? Is it just better to Mind Rot anyway? Because Mind Rot also clears the graveyard out so that top deck future Lears are weaker? Like, I'm letting them top deck one card and play it by tapping out, but I think that there's just as much of a chance that they already have a threat in hand anyway, and that I could potentially hit, on average, more than one threat with the Mind Rot. And that's not even accounting for the graveyard getting exiled. It's like 2.2 threats, maybe, with graveyard exile? I don't know. Okay, well, I don't think I need too many Meathook Massacres. I think Lolth and Sorin are fine. Shadow's Verdict and Blood on the Snow probably aren't great, even though Blood on the Snow wound up being sort of useful there. Bloodvial Purveyor is historically surprisingly useful against red-based removal decks, especially ones that are trying to play Goldspan Dragon, just because it happens to dodge most of their removal. I definitely want Go Blank. I definitely want Disdainful Strokes. I can probably live with a Duress. I probably want Siphon Insights. If they're not for this matchup, I don't know what matchup they're for. And I probably don't need Binding of the Old Gods at all. The deck might not honestly want Binding of the Old Gods, period. But I assumed that the mana ramp element would be good with Shigeki, but maybe it's just supposed to be lower cost removal. And specifically stuff that's instant speed. Alright, that should be good. I mean, I assume I'm supposed to keep 3 Go Blanks against green-red, or blue-red. I feel like that's true. I want that to be true. March is a good draw, because I kind of forgot to think about what happens if my opponent plays Malevolent Hermit. I could sorcery speed kill this Hermit so that we actually got 1 life, but I kind of want it to be in the graveyard at the end of their turn so that I can exile it with Go Blank, and they can't get it back. I'm kind of opening myself up to them having a counterspell to protect it that way, is potentially a downside, and I take 2 damage and don't gain 1 life. So, like, definitely ways this goes south for me. But I think the upside's worth it. I could also just get Jwari Disrupted, which would kind of suck. No, okay. So they just sacrificed the Hermit. I think not gaining any of this life and having taken damage was worth that whole exchange. I guess it's also probably better to get the March Jwari Disruption than the Go Blank Jwari Disruption anyway. Galazeth? Oh no! I'm not entirely convinced it's correct of me to play this land instead of just blowing up my opponent's Galazeth when I find 4 mana, but okay. We win. I assume I'm supposed to Mind Rot and play the land there, and then just hope I top deck an answer to the Galazeth. That feels probably correct. I mean, if I top deck enough lands, I can just play the Colossal Skyturtle, but we also probably die to attacks before that's relevant. But, I'll take it. Alright, we are on the play. This hand doesn't do anything, but it's got Planeswalkers, so, like, it's probably cool. I mean, I suppose Colossal Skyturtle can be an unsummon early on. Maybe I'm just not rating that highly enough? Shigeki on curve? For real? Wow, I probably never need a second green. I mean, if I want to hardcast Skyturtle, I suppose, but, like, that's probably not going to happen very often. Sometimes you just gotta keep hands that don't do anything and trust in your deck to give you the ability to do things. If I had one piece of advice to give, it would be mulligan less. Not that that's necessarily correct, just that that's the advice that I'd give regardless of whether it's correct or not. Let's see, you get put back into your hand. Okay. Returning Shigeki is part of the cost, which means I don't have to worry about my opponent removing Shigeki in response. And activate Shigeki, put a land into play, because we're good at this. Second green source, why not? Play our Lolth. After the opponent's Life of Toshiro's already used up all of its sagas, you love to see it. Now, what on earth is our opponent doing with Life of Toshiro? Blowing up our Planeswalker. That bit's rude. Unfortunately, Shigeki doesn't play super great with Planeswalkers, which is a little bit of a bummer. Oh well. I think we'll live. Okay, I think I'm comfortable playing Sorin and upticking it for a land. Willing to play the land, willing to play Shigeki, so that we can ramp in the future and block in the present. Our Sorin's gone. That's a bummer. Skyturtle, can you return... Oh, you can return Planeswalkers. Sweet. Oh, right, Takenuma can return Planeswalkers too, can't it? Oh. So many interesting options. Alright, let's keep attacking with the menace creatures. Are you... Right, no, memories aren't legendary. Okay. I'm actually... Wait, did they play Life of Toshiro last turn and not kill a spider? Everbrook Caretaker. Oh, that's really scary. You should probably make sure our opponent can't play that. Only to cast an instant or sorcery. Then does our opponent attack with the memory? Sure. Then we block. Return Shigeki, which means not killing the memory, but I'd much rather ramp than kill the memory. Oh, I probably should have activated Takenuma first. No, I just want to make a land drop. I can Colossal Skyturtle here to get back our Planeswalker anyway. I can also get Binding of the Old Gods. Probably just supposed to get the Planeswalker. Value sounds like fun. Oh. Shadow's Verdict? Okay. I'm not sure if Shadow's Verdict has just horrible synergy with Shigeki, or if we can just, like, try to play Shadow's Verdict at a timing where our Shigeki isn't in the graveyard. It's unclear to me. But I figured having one would at least be educational to experiment with the option. Let's see... Lolth. Downtick Lolth. Make some spiders. Go to combat. Swing with spiders. I could play Shigeki here, because I have the safety from Takenuma anyway. I'm probably just supposed to play Takenuma so that I can march an opponent's hive. And then just, like, do a Shigeki loop next turn if they do interact with my board in a meaningful way. Everbrook Caretaker. That's kind of annoying. Okay. Well, let's remove whatever they put the counters on. Submit 0. Blow up memory. Do I have a way to kill that thing once it's in play? No, not really. Not short of blood on the snow anyway. Syncopate a turn late. That's rude. Sorin. Tricky, tricky, tricky. So I can Shigeki back Skyturtle and something else, and then play a 3-drop? Can I Shigeki back a land? I can. Cool. So I could Shigeki back March and Skyturtle? No, probably Binding and Skyturtle, right? No, I don't have the land to Binding. Oh, I don't have the mana to March either, actually. Unless I got rid of something. I mean, I kind of want to get rid of this memory of Toshiro. Maybe just exile Shadow's Verdict then in this spot? Okay, maybe I'm just playing Sorin and down-ticking for blockers. Not my favorite position, but probably correct? Oh, that's true. Meathook's also an answer here. Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Sort of expecting the opponent to fire up Hive. I see. They want to flip it back to day. Gotcha. Or, well, flip it to night. So I'm kind of obligated to play enough stuff to transform it back to day, otherwise I'm in a little bit of a pickle. Unfortunately, our mana does not really support that. Oh, I also have 2 of those edicts that hit this thing, come to think of it. Okay, well, this is gonna be weird, but here we are. Shigeki, Syncopate, Shigeki for 0. Pay the 0, turn it back to day. Oh, I don't even get the option to not pay the 0? I think I'm supposed to get an option to not pay the 0 if I wanted to get countered. Right? I am allowed to choose not to pay the 0. Huh. Alright, well, let's swing in the air. I mean, we kind of threw away a lot of cards there in a way that was awkward, but we did draw 2 cards, so it was still, you know, up on resources overall. Meathook Massacre for 1. Okay. So that stops it from transforming. Our Lolth gets a bunch of loyalty. Oh, but they have enough mana to activate Hive. Can I get back something meaningful with Shigeki here? I would have 1 mana to work with if I got back Skyturtle and something, which means I could get back March, but only cast it for 2, which isn't enough to remove the Hive, which means my board gets wiped. But if I were to get back Skyturtle and Binding, I guess I'd probably be okay with that. I mean, my board getting wiped isn't fun, but it's probably fine. So Skyturtle can bounce, but I don't really have enough mana to do that. Otherwise, I lose my ability to have a loop. Oh, wow, it costs double green to channel Shigeki. I did not realize that. Alright, so we're going to get back Skyturtle, and we'll get back Binding, because more mana sounds like a good idea. I believe I have 1 more land that Binding can fetch in the deck still. So unfortunately, we do find ourselves in sort of a strange spot here, where we have a lot of card advantage, but we don't actually have a lot of ability to dig for cards we haven't already seen, which is sort of what we need to be able to answer the Caretaker. Yeah, opponent doesn't want us getting a bunch of chump blockers back, understandably. Flipping to Night, not good for me. Drawing not relevant cards, also not good for me. Okay. The trouble is this is going to result in the opponent putting a ton of counters on Hive the Eye Tyrant, and like my removal just actually isn't super well positioned to deal with that. I get back 5 cards if I play an untapped land, otherwise I play Hull. I block Hollowhenge, I take 9 and 5, gain 2, so I take 12, go to 1. I can't interact with the opponent anyway. Is getting 5 cards back different from getting 4? I get Skyturtle, Syncopate, March, Hagra Mauling. So no, not functionally very different at all. I think having Haul next turn could actually be meaningful. Skyturtle only removes counters if we can get rid of Hexproof. And currently I'm unlikely to be able to get rid of Hexproof. Oh, I guess they need a land to animate the second Hive. Yeah, but they have that. Okay. Alright, so we technically are alive. Howdy, Alex. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be so much easier if I just had Soul Shatter. No, I don't think land gets us anywhere. Well, maybe? What if I cast Skyturtle? I have to cast Skyturtle, cast Shadow's Verdict. Okay, wait, no, I can cast Skyturtle, Syncopate it, and then have 5 mana? Okay, maybe that works? Is this a real deck? I suspect it might be. I'm not totally sure, but I think so. Really? Just willing to trade off the Skyturtle? Oh, they think I'm gonna die to Meathook Massacre. They might be right. Or it doesn't counter my own stuff, right? Correct. Alright, so I'm going to march my own Skyturtle for 4 so that I gain life and don't die to Meathook Massacre. Okay. Concealing Curtains, getting rid of Hagra Mauling is annoying, because those existing lands have so many counters on them. I can't believe I'm going to die to a second Avabrook Caretaker. Okay, wait, Shigeki is stellar. Blood on the Snow? How much snow do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Do I have Sorin in the graveyard? No, they got rid of Sorin. Rude. Okay, so I could Blood on the Snow and put back Shigeki into play. I'm assuming that would probably be a mistake. I think I'm just supposed to pass. I don't know that I can survive taking 5, 8 damage here. Maybe I can. I mean, I think I can Shigeki back a March. Oh, no, 2 additional damage? Oh, key's gone. Just a sec. I'll let the key out. What do you think is the best deck right now in Standard Best of 3? Either Hinata or a Goldspan deck. I don't think anything else is particularly likely to be excellent. Okay, everybody swings and exile stuff. I kind of just have to march the Hive for 9. I can pay 4 of it out of hand, so I need 6 mana left over. If I need 6 mana left over, then I can Shigeki for 1, 2, 3. So I can get back Skyturtle, March. Binding is definitely not correct. Like, Hagra Mauling is just better. And then... Oh, no. Wait, 9 works, even with the Meathook Massacre. So we exile Shadow's Verdict and Blood on the Snow. Hit that. Oh, I have enough mana to do 3, 6... Oh, yeah. Then we do 10 because it's free. And gaining 1 more life sounds excellent. March of Wretched Sorrow has been extremely impressive this game so far. Alright, not dead. Make more land drops. Why not? Oh, cool. 15-minute warning in game 1. Love to see it. Alright, what else you got for us, opponent? Hive. Hive attacks. March of Wretched Sorrow. I'm gonna kind of just autopilot through this, so we get back Shigeki. And then Shigeki loop grabs March and Skyturtle. And then we march for 6. This is a little silly. This is a little absolutely silly. I think I've gained over 20 life off this single march. This is absolutely delicious. Alright. Skyturtle, get back Shigeki. Do you have any list of the deck you named it before? I have some Hinata lists that I can find after this game, yes. I want to Syncopate, I want Skyturtle, I want March. And then 5... I don't personally have a gold span list, but, you know, and I saw one floating around on Twitter earlier that I can grab. Stuff like this. Yeah, what the heck, let's just go ahead and get rid of our opponent's hand. Botelho. Oh. Okay, so animating that doesn't save it in any way. Do I have basics? I have basics. Sweet. Okay. We're gonna have like 12 whole minutes left to complete the next game. Sweet. Going to get back Shigeki. Shigeki's gonna get back 1, 2, 3. No, only 2 things. So Shigeki's gonna get back March and Skyturtle. And we're gonna march this memory, continue gaining life. I could sorcery speed that Shigeki, I assume. Okay, Lolth, that's fine. Then we get back a Shigeki. 1, 2, I don't know, like what? 4 probably is enough. Let's get back Hall. Let's get back March. Let's get back Skyturtle. Let's get back Go Blank. Binding doesn't actually get anything back. Alright, so let's Go Blank the opponent. Let's march the Serral. Actually, let's exile the binding that's useless at this point. I just want to hold up more mana. I don't remember whether Serral can exile my graveyard on their upkeep or not, but I don't want to take the time to figure that out or not. This is a little silly, isn't it? Definitely felt like we were going to lose, and now it feels like we're basically totally fine. How much can I cast this for? This is actually a good use of QQ. 2, 3. Skyturtle, Go Blank, March. No. Skyturtle, go blank, land is actually better. Land drop, play go blank, animate Hall, swing with Hall. Alright. And now we are somehow equal with the opponent. Binding on Meathook would have been a good idea. That's probably true. Alright. Hagra Mauling this Valky. I'm glad I saved a bunch of mana to counter that Valky with Syncopate. Turns out that was a good idea. Get back to Shigeki. Play a land. Find our Hall. Animate Hall. Swing with Hall. Pass the turn. Hold up Syncopate for 30. Oh, thanks, Gookadris. I had a ton of fun on the podcast as well. Oh, I should have go blank before animating the Hall. I mean, I got like 30 mana to cast Syncopate with. I guess we're fine. Alright. And now we just have to win the next game 5 minutes faster than that game, and we'll be fine. What on earth am I supposed to do here? Well, Duress and Shadow's Verdict don't seem stellar. Go blank is fine, but probably not a 3 of. What podcast? I guessed it on the Arena Craft podcast this week. Steal the opponent's win cons to go faster? That's not entirely unreasonable. Similarly, I suppose there might actually be merit to Bloodvial Purveyor. Although that's actually, like, super risky against Valky? Alright, I'm willing to believe card advantage is actually a good idea. I'm also willing to believe Power Word Kill is something I should be playing here. And Meathook Massacre probably isn't stellar. Is Binding of the Old Gods fine? Binding of the Old Gods is probably fine, yes. There's certainly enough things that I can hit with it. And the mana ramp is still useful. Alright, I think we're good. Third turtle might be a good idea so you can pick up planeswalkers. I suppose that might be true if the unsummon mode on turtle is better than I'm giving it credit for. I was a little worried that just wasn't going to be relevant. I'm afraid the opponent's deck might have too much removal for the chunky vampire win con to be too effective. But that is very much kind of determined by how much removal they're playing, and I'm sort of just guessing. Alright, what kind of 4-drop do we got? Seraph. Okay. Okay. Does not exile graveyards. Good to know. Could march the Innkeeper. Probably not supposed to. Okay, yeah. I'll cast Invoke Despair at some point this game. Why not? Do I want to Meathook for 1? Probably yes. It's not a super big deal, but just having the Meathook developed makes my future removal better. Can I cast Invoke Despair using any colors of mana? Oh, I can. Now there's a synergy. Oh. Bye-bye. I need to play faster than this. Kill Seraph. Gain life. Hope they don't play something too big so that I can Invoke Despair here. Opponent doesn't have a third black source yet, so they can't Invoke Despair me. Seraph. Okay, I'm probably still supposed to Invoke Despair? Maybe. Probably. Okay, I sack Binding. They do draw 2 cards, which is a little painful. Okay. Toshiro hurts. We're 1 mana short of playing Binding plus Sorin, which is a bummer. I could play Sorin plus Power Word Kill. That's certainly tempting. No, hold on. That's wrong. I'm supposed to Lolth plus Power Word Kill.
Aren't I generous?
Toshiro probably going to ping down a 1 toughness creature. That's fine. We put a loyalty counter on Lolth.
I will.
So they can kill Lolth here by animating a land. Ooh. Life of Toshiro actually annoyingly good against the second spider here. But they're going to have to send both things at Lolth.
My power is for
Okay, so odds are that I blow up the hive then. But I will let the opponent attack before I decide what to remove. Both at face, ignoring Lolth. Okay. Alright, land removed, life gained, life lost. So we Binding of the Old Gods, get rid of the Graveyard Trespasser, discard Jwari Disruption. Do I gain loyalty when my opponent's stuff dies? No. Bummer. Okay, well no point in making spiders yet.
My children will take care of you.
Toshiro would just ping one of them down anyway, and then I couldn't block the hive regardless. 7 minutes remaining. Life flips. Opponent gains some life. Hive animates. Life. Attempts to pump hive. Get to exile Go Blank, blow up the hive. I've killed so many Hive of the Eye Tyrants with March of Wretched Sorrows at this point. Okay, Syncopate is not bad at all. I believe... Okay, let's start with drawing a card with Lol. It's a land. Okay, then we Siphon Insight. Valky's probably interesting as a Planeswalker. Valky's probably interesting as a Planeswalker. Do I want to play Sorin here? Gonna take 4 damage from Toshiro. I probably have to play Sorin and not hold up Syncopate for more... You know what? Syncopate actually is enough because they don't have a hand, so we can counter a 6-drop with it. And that's kind of the only thing I think I'm super scared of. That's not entirely true. I'm actually a little scared of Invoke Despair, but... We actually have the ability to sacrifice everything to Invoke Despair at the moment, so it's not the worst thing in the world to get hit by currently. Soul Transfer. Ooh, but they don't have both. Okay, so they can't do both. But they play the 3-drop, and we counter the 3-drop. Then we can Chump Block Memory, which gives us the ability to downtick Lolth.
I will come.
Creatures gain Death Touch. We play Tybalt. We remove a creature.
And away you go.
We make some blockers.
A gift.
I think at this point I'm willing to downtick Sorin in the interest of trying to close the game faster, because I think I'm likely to just win anyway. I forgot I was able to actually play that Saga when I exiled something with Tybalt. Takenuma, mills, 3 lands. Gets back a Seraph. Okay. Snow-covered swamp. Why not? Pump vampire. Draw a card. Downticking Sorin obviously was never wrong. Never didn't have it. Should have played a land. Or shouldn't have played a land. First time I've ever played with a Tybalt Planeswalker in play, so... Easy mistakes to make. Play a Shigeki, because we can't cycle it from exile. Attack for 4 and gain life. Pass the turn. Is Desira actually a good card in this meta? No, not at all, I don't believe. Go blank. Where is this? In... I think that's in the graveyard. I'll take a Florian. Go blank, not as good when I've got all my cards currently in exile and a Shigeki in hand. or in play, and a Tibalt in play. Just not the most excellent spot for that card. Okay, so let's exile Seraph. Should have zeroed Lolth first. It'll be fine.
Run, but we will catch.
Activate Shigeki. Get a land into play. Play a land from exile. Downtick Sorin because more creatures, and why not?
I bring my
Swing with everybody in the interest of ending the game faster. Alright! Only took like 6 minutes! Look at that! We can be an aggro deck if we want to! Ah, you love to see it. Alright, this hand doesn't do anything, and we're on the draw. So we'll keep and draw into things that do things. Lovely. To be fair, I'm not entirely sure that it's the blue part of this deck that's doing the grindy thing. I think that's actually the green-black part of the deck. The blue part of the deck is... Wait, are we playing literally any blue spells other than counterspells? I guess technically Skyturtle is like sort of a blue spell that isn't a counterspell. Sort of. Should I go blank here? Or save go blank? I'm probably supposed to go blank just for mana efficiency's sake. No, I'm going to get Jwari Disruption. That's wrong. I mean, I guess getting Jwari Disruption out of their hand isn't terrible. Makes it harder for them to hit land drops. It's like sort of being mana efficient. And go blank in the graveyard is still pseudo-useful. That's true. We do have the Siphon Insights in the sideboard, and that's sort of like a card draw spell. You should just jam a Goldspan opponent. No? Huh. How surprising. Is there a place for Balaged Recovery in this deck, or is the downside no instant speed, no channel too big? I assume that the downside of not being instant speed is just makes it considerably worse than Skyturtle, and I don't think the deck as it stands needs more lands. Love what's going to happen to me when they just eventually fire up that hall. But we're making land drops for the time being, so that's nice. But yeah, we are not pressuring the opponent very much, are we? If they're on a version of Goldspan control that isn't playing Galvanic, then I think that I'm kind of fine here. If they are on a version that plays Galvanic, then I'm potentially in trouble. I think I can play Lolth. It's probably going to get counterspelled, but getting a counterspell out of my opponent's hand, as long as it's not a Disdainful Stroke, is meaningful anyway. And with with my opponent's mana where it is, as long as they don't Windfall, I can Disdainful Stroke the first Goldspan and then Syncopate a second Goldspan, even if they make a land drop. I'm hoping it's the Goldspan. Wow, I'm actually getting just utterly blown out by that reject here. Because that also exiles my Planeswalker. Which isn't the world's biggest deal, I suppose. Yeah, alright. Windfall also hurts. Luckily they discarded a land and not a removal spell, which is good. Would be a lot worse for me otherwise. I just fire up Hall, and I don't have a removal spell that's capable of killing that. Okay. So if they fire up Hall, I can take 7 and then exile Shadow's Verdict to attempt to... No, they don't. Okay. Well, Duress isn't terrible. I don't mind a peek at my opponent's hand. We'll hold the Multiverse. That's not something I can allow to resolve, I don't think. Card advantage is a problem right now. But Behold the Multiverse is a really, really bad sign. That strongly implies they're playing Galvanic, which is a card that I don't feel super comfortable beating right now. Okay, Prismari Command's fine. Don't care about that. Okay, just a Goldspan Dragon. That we can kill. Unfortunately, this uses up my March. Otherwise, I'd die to the Goldspan. No, I shouldn't have let this attack. It doesn't really matter. They have infinity mana, but it was sloppy. I guess I should play around Jwari. Well, no, hold on. This puts me to 16. Hull is 14. That's 15? Yeah, so 5 is enough anyway. Once again, creature lands are the tricky thing. I would love to draw a Soul Shatter or a Shigeki. Syncopate's not useful, so that's going to be a problem. 3, 4, but I have nothing in the graveyard to get back with Blood on the Snow. Exiling Verdict is probably correct, but I didn't see a way that the life mattered, and holding on to the Shadow's Verdict makes it easier to, if I top deck another March, kill all of the Storm Giants. Unfortunately, we do not top deck anything capable of interacting with the Hall of the Storm Giants. I would have considered exiling the Verdict if gaining additional life changed the clock in any way there, but it didn't look like it was capable of changing the clock to me. Okay, so we cut Blood on the Snow, we cut Shadow's Verdict, we cut Meathook Massacres, we board in Disdainful Strokes and Negates and Siphon Insights, and go blank, and then I need one more cut that I have not puzzled. Oh, Binding of the Old Gods. All of them, which means I get to bring in cards. Probably Bloodvial Purveyor? I'm assuming that's actually decent against Goldspan Dragon decks. It certainly looks like it's probably good against Goldspan Dragon decks. I certainly wished at the end of that game that I could top deck Power Word Kill, but can we beat dragons? The hope is that this deck is actively favored against dragons. I kind of tried to build it with that in mind. Okay, this looks pretty good. Shigeki's not easy for them to kill early on, and us accelerating ramp out is good. Next turn I get to Duress and activate Shigeki. Admittedly, if I wanted this to be better against dragons, I could switch up the way the main deck is built to have a few less dead cards against dragons. That's an unfortunately good hand. It's tempting to get rid of the Spikefield Hazard, but they're probably going to make enough land drops with the expressive iterations anyway, so I'm probably just supposed to get rid of card draw. Huh. They didn't jam the expressive iteration. I guess want to hold up Negate for a Planeswalker is the idea, but I think that that's actually just very bad for them. Oh, Shigeki milling Siphon Insight is actually like a really cool combo that I completely didn't realize was in the deck. I like that a lot, actually. Huh. Neat. Yeah, we got plenty of green already. Alright, well, we're actually just, like, so incredibly far ahead of the opponent at this point that I'm sort of in love with it. Yeah, you can... Well, What if I Siphon Insighted in response, opponent? I guess I'll take a Bankbuster. That doesn't sound terrible. Okay, Expressive Iteration resolves. I would rather activate Shigeki here. Oh, right, this isn't a negate anyway. I'm definitely not Disdainful Stroking their Expressive Iteration in this spot. If you don't mind me asking the reason behind the include, I'm really surprised by your choice of Bloodvial Purveyor in an infinite value loop deck like this. I find Bloodvial Purveyor to be a pretty decent anti-aggro sideboard card a lot of the time. And also, randomly, it turns out to be good against blue-red decks that can't kill it, and that can't attack with Goldspan Dragon into it. It's more of that it's an oddly good tempo card than anything else. Alright, we'll play Bankbuster. I assume that gets negated. It does. Sure. Then we will play Shigeki, because I would like to continue getting more mana. Unfortunately, if they make another land drop, they can Unexpected Windfall plus negate, which starts getting them ahead. Alright, or we could top deck Syncopate and just be super happy. And now we're also getting close to just establishing Shigeki loops, which is strong. Alright, Disdainful Stroke the Windfall. Opponent has to talents our Disdainful Stroke. That would actually be really annoying, so we are going to get rid of that. If needs be, I can Colossal Skyturtle back a Disdainful Stroke. Although if they have a Goldspan Dragon plus a land, that's not good enough. No, just Hinata. But that doesn't affect Channel. Do I have a removal spell for that? I guess I have Bloodvial Purveyor. I have March. Huh, okay. So I could Skyturtle back Disdainful Stroke the Hinata. Shigeki getting back Skyturtle and something? Not really good enough. I guess I could bounce Hinata? I'm probably actually supposed to bounce Hinata. No! That's a bummer. I wanted more mana. Not like this, though. Okay, so we get to Shigeki back, go blank ×2, empty our opponent's hand. That's probably the correct move. So Skyturtle, go blank, go blank. I guess I could also get Duress. It doesn't really matter, I have enough mana to do all this anyway. So this gets negated. And then this gets negated. Nope. Oh, Hullbreaker Horror and Disdainful Stroke gone! You love to see it. Okay. I think I'm supposed to hold on to the Skyturtle. Spellbinder. Okay. Well, in that case, I'm just going to get back the other Shigeki. Right? Can I get a board wipe here? Nah. Alright, you can make one of my Shigekis cost more, opponent. That's fine. It does actually remove the channel ability. That's actually kind of a cool card here. Ugh. Wow, okay. Top decks are good. Do I have a counterspell for that? No. I mean, I have Lolth and Bloodvial, though, which is, like, probably good enough. So I need to leave up 3 mana, so 1, 2, 3. So we're going to get back Bloodvial, Skyturtle, March, and then Skyturtle is going to turn into a Lolth. And I believe I can just play all of these no matter what. Well, not the March, but I don't really want to play the March. Mostly I just play Lolth and Bloodvial.
Our subservience will be rewarded.
Okay. Well, I mean, this seems good. Yeah, Express Federation's a good top deck for our opponent. The Bloodvial Purveyor downside is going to be disappointing. Spikefield Hazard on Lolth, considering. Yeah, Spikefield doesn't really get through Bloodvial, though. Oh, Magma Opus. And then kill me? Yeah, alright. That was a lethal top deck. Alright.
Oh, you'll fall into my web again.
Hinata's a good deck.